hope that I can be heard. I'm not sure if I'm up yet or not. I think there's like a 10-second lag. I'm not sure. But if you're watching this, then you're watching the replay. So just let me know if you're watching the replay, or let me know if you're here. Lag. I'm not sure. Here. So let's see. Lag. Today I'm going to be making my first cards for my card kit to go class. And today I'm going to be making my first cards for my card. I've been following Rhonda Wade, who is also a demonstrator, but she does classes for demonstrators to help them learn new things to do for their business. So classes for demonstrators to help them learn. She did a class. She did one of her classes on doing card kits to go. So that's what I'm going to do. First off, I wanted to talk about that. One of her classes on doing card kits. This is April, and next month, May, will be a new catalog. So I can't show you the inside of the catalog, but I can show you the front of the catalog. So some of you will be getting this in the mail. If you ordered from me in the last year, then you'll be getting the catalog in the mail. Some of you will be getting this in the mail. If you can hear me on repeat, then you'll be getting the catalog in the mail. Let me see what I can do. How about now? Can you hear on repeat? Okay, sounds good. Good. Thank you for letting me know, honey. I appreciate that. Okay, so that was the catalog. Like I said, if you ordered from me in the last year, you'll be getting a catalog in the mail. I think it'll come out at the end of the month. I don't know if you'll get it right before the order period happens. So there's that. Another thing, and I've never used them, but the demonstrator rewards, yeah, I can hear it too. She's clipped her toenails, but she still tippy taps everywhere she goes. Also, another thing that's changing is the demonstrator rewards. That's something that I never used, because as soon as I signed up as a demo, they talked about how they were going to be changing the demonstrator rewards, and they were going to be getting rid of them. It used to be that when you ordered $150 worth of product, then you got an amount for free product. Now, for every $20 of product, you will get Stampin' Rewards added to your account. And it was before, with the Stampin' Rewards, you had to use those rewards at the time of your order. Now you can build up those rewards so that you can save them and then use them on another order. You don't have to use them all at once. So that's something that's changed. I don't know if you followed other demos, they would always have this as my host code for the month, and I tried it, but it didn't work out very well. But that's what it was they would have you use that host code, and then when you ordered product from them, then they would get the hostess rewards for any orders that were under 150. But now everybody gets rewards, so that's the good thing. But that is taking place actually as of tax day. So on Monday and Tuesday, there's going to be a little bit of changes going on the website. So if you try to order those days, sometime you're going to go on and the website's going to be down because they are making the change. So I will leave more information about that on my page and the group, so that you'll know. But like I said, I've never used them, so there's that. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll show you the 3 cards that I'm gonna make. So let's go ahead and do that. So here they are. I have a happy birthday with all the months, and then hoping your day blooms with happiness. Then I have sending you a floral hug, and hope your day blooms with happiness. That is kind of a theme there. And then here's another birthday with the beautiful February flower. So let's go ahead and get started making those. And these cards, you can make them how I'm making them, or you can actually make them so that they'll match the, you know, any month. I just picked a month. Since I was working in April, I decided to use April. So let's go ahead and I have cut everything out. If you order the kit from me, you'll get all the pieces cut out, and the sentiment, I will go ahead and die cut that out. I will not be sending in the stamped images or the die cut images for this. This is for the Year of Flowers. If you buy the bundle, you'll get all the stamps, and then you will also get the dies with it. So I will not be sending those. But so let's go ahead and start. So for this first card, it's just a regular thick 8.5 by 5.5 base, scored in half. And then I took a piece of the Dandelion Yellow, and I used, it's a corrugated, it's one of the new embossing folders, and it's very fun. It's called the Mini Corrugated Embossing Folder, and it's just creates that cute little corrugated effect. So I used that. So we'll go ahead and put that piece down, because that's going to go on the very base of our card. And you can use, I like to use the green glue, but you can use any adhesive that you like to use best. I think this one adheres it pretty well because of all those ridges. So then just center that one. And one thing that I did do, I cut this piece a little longer than I usually do, because since I corrugated it, it shortened it up a little bit. So, and then here what we're going to do, I am going to show you how I stamped all the flowers on there. So this is going to take a bit, but I did want to show you how I stamped all the flowers. And one thing that I did with my stamps, since I have a little trouble reading the stamps, I numbered them. So there's number 1, there's January's. Number 12, that's December's. That way I know which stamp I need for which month. And then for the dies, I laid them in order for the months as well. So January through May, June through October, November, and December. So that way, one cool thing about the dies is, and I don't think I can get it on camera, they have the number, the month number on the dies. So that does help. If you're not sure, you can just look at the die and see what number it is, and it has the month number on it. I can't catch it on camera, but I like to lay them out in order, that way I didn't have to guess. So there's that. So to get these on here evenly, I started with January and I stamped it up, and I'm using the Memento Black, Tuxedo Black ink. I stamped it up in the top left corner. So just like that. And then I stamped all the months around the corners. So then the next month I'm going to want is April. So we'll do that one. So that top right corner. And then the bottom corner is going to be September's. So there's September. So this bottom left corner. And then December for the bottom right corner. So there we go. That way I can kind of evenly stamp them throughout now without having to try to guess. So then I'll go ahead and stamp February's. So about right there. I'll go ahead and do Marches. There's that one. See, I need to go put my glasses on, I guess, because I can't read. There we are. Really keep forgetting, and I keep forgetting to take my glasses to work with me. So when I'm at work and I can't read, it's very frustrating. It's not too bad, but when I'm trying to do stuff up close, that's where I have trouble seeing. And I know that my kids would tell me, put your glasses on, Mom, because I did that to them all the time when they were growing up. Okay, so now we need May. It's gonna go right here. And I hope I don't get my head in the camera, but I might. Yes, I'm an old lady. I'll keep that. I am what I am. So I'm gonna go ahead and just go across with the months along here. And actually, Laura, your sister's starting to need to wear her glasses more often, but she doesn't want to. So you're going to have to help me convince her to wear her glasses more often. Okay, and then August. Like I said, this part does take a little bit, but once you get going, it flows pretty well. Okay, and then I need October and November. And see, here's where if you didn't have the die cut for the flower, you could just color the month you want, just to pop out the month that you want if you don't have the die cut for the flower. And that's what I thought of doing at first, and then I thought, oh, it'll be really pretty just to pop that month out. So there we go. We have all 12 months on there. And then what I did for the month that I want to pop out is I went ahead and I stamped that, and then I die cut it. So the way I stamped this, I colored this little guy, because he's a daisy and he's white, so it was kind of hard to pop out the white color, but I'll go ahead and, oh, I didn't stamp that very strong, did I? There we go. So to color him, I used the Stampin' Blends markers, and I used the Daffodil Delight for the center of the flower, and then I used the olive green blends for the stem. And then just to, I felt it kind of pops it out just a little bit, it gives a little bit of shadow. I took the Smoky Slate and I put that around there. So just take the yellow, and I took the light, and then I took the dark to just kind of go around it a little bit, and then take the green and just come up the stem. Don't have to press too hard. Okay, and you can use this, the darker green, if you want to, just to give it a little bit of texture, I kind of feel. And then, like I said, I took the Smoky Slate and I just took it around the edges. And you don't have to do it too hard, but like I said, I just feel like it kind of pops it out a little bit, pops the white out, makes it look like the flower is white. So like that, and then then I take the die and I cut it out. So then what we're going to do is I'll go ahead and I'll glue this piece onto the base. Now that I have it all stamped. And then just center it on that yellow piece. So there we go. And then for the flower, I'm going to go ahead and use my dimensionals. And that's a pretty big flower, so I can go ahead and use the big one on the top, and then I'll use one of the little ones for right there at the leaves, just to give it a little bit more hold. So there's those. Okay, and then you just center that one over the flower you want to pop out. So there we go. There's that one. And then for the sentiment, I'm going to go ahead and use the happy birthday. And I will go ahead and put that in the black as well. And for these, for this sentiment shape, I used the Stylish Shapes dies, and I used that bigger banner to fit that in. I thought it fit in there nicely, and I will die cut that out for you. So then you just center the sentiment on there. There we go. And then I'm going to pop this up with dimensionals as well. So just take 2 dimensionals here. And then I'm going to put this sentiment near the flower that I'm popping up. So if I, did another one, I'd want to put it near that one, but I'm going to put it near the April, and I want to make it so that people can see the April. And then I will go ahead and use some low profile dots. And I'm going to use these smaller ones just to add a little bling to the front. There we go. And then for the inside, like I said, I used the Hoping Your Day Blooms with Happiness, so I will go ahead and use that for this. And I will use the black still. So just center that on there. It's kind of hard to see. Usually I'm standing up when I'm stamping, so I'm not sure if I'm centering it or not. And then I also wanted to put the cute little flower on the inside as well. So I'll just put that right underneath there. So there we go. That is the first card. And like I said, the hardest part, or the longest part of it, is stamping all the flowers on the front. But I think it's got a cute little effect, though, of popping up the different month for the different birthday. So that is the first one. The second card is, I chose a carnation because that's my birth month, so for October. But again, you could choose any color. And I'm using the petal pink, and for the DSP, I'm using the mixed media florals, and I thought that one was pretty because it has the petal pink colors. And you could use any of these with that Year Flower stamp set because of all the florals. But so let's go ahead and get started making that one. And this one uses the arches this one, this is such a hit. These everyday arches, they are they are an online exclusive. They just came out in January, but it's like as soon as they hit this website, they sell out. So I don't know if they're available right now, but if they are, get them, because these are a hot one. You've got all these different sizes of arches that you can make, and they all nest together really nice. So definitely, if you can get on that one, I would. And it comes in a bundle as well. But even if you just want the dies, that's perfect way to go. So, like I said, we're gonna make this card, and I have all the pieces cut out. I have the base as oh, this one is your favorite, Laura. It's pretty. I think it's really pretty. And like I said, you could use any of the flowers. I chose carnation because that's my flower, but I think it'd be beautiful if you used even June's. June's is the beautiful rose. That would be pretty. Use some red. But our base is petal pink, and it's normal 8.5 by 5.5 and scored in half. And I'm doing it so that it opens up and down. So there's that. And then I have already stamped and die cut out my carnation flowers. And then I have die cut all the arches. So I've got all the arches, and then I've got whites to go inside of the arches. And one thing that you could do, like I said again, if you don't want to, I know it is pretty, isn't it, sending you a floral hug. If you don't want to die cut out your flower, you could go ahead and just stamp your flower onto there as well. I think that would be just as pretty if you don't want to pop out the flower and die cut. So let's go ahead and get it put together. So I will, if you get the kit from me, I will have all the instructions on a PDF. So I'll have all of the measurements. So if you want to cut your own, you can. But I cut that one not quite. I'm leaving that for the sentiment, so it's not quite the full page. So we'll go ahead and put this on the front. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but I started doing reels this week as well. That has been a learning experience, because you record yourself putting the cards together. And I did that, but I have forgot that when you film a reel, you have to have your camera in portrait mode. And right now I'm in landscape. So I recorded all of them in landscape, and then I went to go do my reel, and they weren't the right size. So I had to re-record myself in portrait mode to edit them down for the reels. And then it took me 20 minutes to put the cards together, and I have to edit that down to a minute. It's been a lot of fun. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use my Stampin' Seal, because I'm going to put some of this, it is white, and I have woven ribbon. I love how they have all the different languages, so you just got to find where yours is. So this is white woven ribbon, and it's about 1/2 inch wide. It was definitely a learning experience, Laura. I told Michael and I told the kids, I really am a techie. I mean, I don't know if you remember growing up, I loved computers. I loved all that stuff. And it's like I can't think anymore. Yes, that old lady syndrome again. So we're going to go ahead and just use the adhesive along the front, and then that's where we're going to put our ribbon. So I'm just going to set that right on top of it. And then I will take my scissors and I will just cut a snippet of the ends off. There we go. Okay, and then we will put these on top of there, but I'm going to go ahead and glue these down. of the big arches. I hope I don't drop it on myself. So there we go. There's one. There's two. I love how well they just nest together really nicely. They fit together really nicely. And I've seen people make cards with the largest arch, and they have the card, you know, it's rounded on the top and it opens. They're really pretty. I'm gonna do more with those arches. Okay, now we will go ahead and put these down on there on the front of the card. And this, I like to start with the middle first and then work my way around. Go ahead and get them all glued. Okay, so try to center that one in the middle. And then the next one. Like I said, I'm usually standing up, so going at it while I'm seated, I don't know if I have it as centered as I think I do. Okay, so there's those, and I always like to put a block on stuff to hold it down a little bit. Okay, now we will go ahead and do the inside as well. Now the inside of the card, I framed the inside with the DSP, and since whenever I'm framing a bigger DSP with another piece, I always like to use something to cut out so that I can use that for later. So see, now it's completely hidden. So we will go ahead and we'll glue this one down. I always like to do that. That way I feel like I'm not as wasteful. I mean, it's just me, but center the DSP on the inside of the card. Okay. And then before I adhere that one, I want to go ahead and stamp it. So we put, oh yeah, that's right, on the inside. I think that's right. We did Hoping Your Day Blooms with Happiness again. Or I think I'm going to use I Couldn't Have Picked a Better Friend. I really like that one too. So I'm going to put that one on the inside. I think that one's cute too. So you just want to stamp that. There we go. Now I'll go ahead and glue it down. I wait to glue it down because that way if I mess it up, then I have the other side to try again. So we'll do that. Now we'll go ahead and put it on the inside. Now when I send you your card kits, I will send you a full piece for the inside. You can use the full piece or you can cut shapes out of it, whichever you want. So, okay, so now we will go ahead and finish up the front of our card. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp. And then that one is Sending You the Floral Hug. That is so cute. This stamp set is really cute. All the different flowers. So I'm using the black on this as well, and I'm just going to center that on the front. Okay. So, and then I'll pop up the cards, and I will also use, I'm still using the low profile dots, but this time I'm using these pretty pink ones. off of there. Add a little bit of bling to the front. Okay, and now we will pop up our flowers. And for these flowers, I used the Old Olive Stampin' Blends for the stems, but for the flowers, I used kind of a mixture of colors. I used the Petal Pink, and I used the Flirty Flamingo, and I colored the outer edges with the Petal Pink, and then for the darker I used the Flirty Flamingo just to give it a little bit of texture. I feel kind of pop it up a little bit. Okay, so now we will go ahead and add. These flowers aren't as big as the April, the daisy, but you can still put a big Stampin' Dimensional on the back. It's not so small that you can't put one on there. But for the stem, I will go ahead and use these smaller dimensionals. Or you could even cut in half one of the larger ones, and that would fit just fine. And then we will pop these up. There we go. And you could even do 3 different flowers. I just like using 3 of the carnations. I love carnations. It's one of my favorite flowers, being my birth month flowers. So there we go. There is our second card. That one's really pretty easy. Okay, now we are going to do, this one is considered a fun fold because it opens out like that. So I'll show you how I measured to open it. I took a regular card, it's the 8.5 by 5.5, but I didn't score it in half this time. So this time let me see if I have, I had my instructions and now I'm not seeing them because I scored them at, there's the all, darn, I'm not sure what I did with my instructions because I scored it at different places. So let me see if I can find those, see if they got stuck to the back of another one. Well, they didn't. That's kind of strange. Not sure what I did. So we will hope that we get it right. Or actually, what I will do is I will grab my ruler and then I will check it. Okay, so for the first fold, we're going to score it in at 2.5. So take your trimmer or your score, whatever you use, and go ahead and take it at 2.5 and score that. And then I turn it over and we're going to make the other score at 1 3/4. The imperfection, yeah. So 1 3/4. Okay, and that's what's going to give us our gatefold. So then you just take and fold those in like that. So see, that gives us our gatefold. So we're okay, even though I lost my notes, we're all still good. Okay. Now for the front, I used whites and DSP for the front panels. And for this DSP that I used, I'm using DSP that is actually Last Chance right now, because it's the DSP, it's the Regals color, so it has the Gorgeous Grape DSP in there, but this is a Last Chance as well. So this, because I'll have a new DSP for the different color groups for the May catalog. But I love this because it has all sorts of different colors. It has the Gorgeous Grape, it has the real red, so you could maybe do the rose. I think that'd be very pretty. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and we'll just adhere these to the fronts. Good. I like this DSP because it had the leaves and the flowers on there. I thought that went really well with my theme here. So you just want to center that one on the left side panel. Okay. And then you're gonna glue this one down. So just center it in the white panel. There we go. And then we're gonna go ahead and glue this one on the other side. And I don't know if you could tell, it's the same paper, just one side is different than the other. So I just used that same DSP, but used both sides. So there we go with that. And then I think what I just now did when I was looking for that, I lost my flower. Oh, darn it. You know how when you have everything set up and then it just kind of doesn't want to stay set up anymore. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the inside, which this is going to be a birthday card, so I'm just going to stamp the happy birthday on the inside. And you could do it in the Gorgeous Grape or you can do it in the black. I've got the black here with me, so I'm just going to do it in the black. But one of the cards that I did do the Gorgeous Grape, and they both look pretty. So there's that. And then since I'm using the flower on the front, I'm going to go ahead and put the flower on the inside as well. February. Just going to put a little flower down here at the bottom. And I might have to color my flower and die cut it out for you, since I'm not sure I can find it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and adhere this in the middle. There we go, and you just want to center that in the middle. One thing I like about using the glue is that it gives you a little bit of time to maneuver things around if you need to. So that's something that I do like. Okay, now for the front of the card. Oh, looks like I'm gonna have to restamp my, and you know what? I've lost that flower a couple of times while I was trying to get set up tonight. Every time I pick up something, that flower would go flying. So I don't think that flower wants to be part of this card. That is crazy. Okay, so we will go ahead and we will stamp the card so that you can see how it does. So I'll go ahead and stamp it, and that way you can see me color it. But you know, as soon as I get this all done, I'm gonna find that flower. It's just gonna show right up for me. So I'm just go ahead and stamp it in the black. And then I use the Highland Heather and the Old Olive and the Dandelion Delight. So for the flower, I use the light Highland Heather, and I do the big parts of the flower. Just color it down. Okay, so there's that part of it. And then I take the dark Highland Heather, and then for this I just want kind of the center of the flower, because you know these flowers, they kind of fade. The colors kind of fade in. So there's that. And then I take the dandelion color, and that's where I put the yellow that kind of fades up into the rest of the flower. So there's that. And then I'm going to take the green, and it's the Old Olive. I'm going to take the light, and I'll just do this for the stem, kind of up. And then I'll use the dark just to give it right at the base, kind of a shadow in a way. So there we go. Now let me go grab my embossing machine so that you can see what it looks like to cut it. Okay. Now for these flowers, when I cut them out, I always like to make sure that I hold the die down, so I have a little piece of, it's very light tacky tape. It's like washi tape in a way. So I put that over the flower, then hold it down with the tape, and then run it through the machine. Okay, so then just pop it off of there and pop him out of there. So there you go. It's really easy to cut those shapes out. Okay, so now for the front as well. I used the oval punch, and I punched out in the white, and then I also punched it out in the Gorgeous Grape, and then I cut it in half because I'm gonna center it around that one. And that took a little bit of doing because I had to measure it, but got it figured out pretty quickly though. Okay, so we will go ahead and center that on there. I'll just put a little bit of glue. Okay. And then you just want to center it on there just a little bit, put it up just a bit. Same on the other side. There you go. So it just extends the oval a little bit. Oh, and I was gonna be sure that I stamped the flower on there as well. So hopefully it'll still stamp okay, because I want that February to show. Oh boy. Well, now I thought I was done with my ink, but I wasn't. So, oh, it's getting down to the last card, so now it's all chaos is breaking loose, right? And if I can't get this to stamp very well, then what I will do is I have another one. Good, it did. I have another one that I would just put on top of it, another oval. Okay. So there we go with that. And then we will put that on top. So this one, I'm just going to use my different small ones here. That'll hold it pretty good. And then we will put him on top. Okay, and then you're just going to put that right over the top of the one you just stamped so that it pops it out a little bit. Now for the greenery that I've got on there, I used the Garden Green cardstock, but I see the die set has the pretty little leaves and stems. So I wanted some of them to stick down to the paper. So for those, I used what we have is called these adhesive sheets. And I put it on the back of the green. And then I went ahead and I die cut some of the shapes with that, with the adhesive sheets. So then they're just going to stick right down. It basically makes them into stickers. But this way I don't have to try to glue them down, because that can get kind of frustrating, trying to glue those little tiny pieces. So I want to see where I want to put my thing. So I'm going to put that about right there. I'm going to put this one about right here. Okay, so, and then you just peel the backing off of them. Like I said, they're just like stickers. So now I can put it where I need to, because it's all sticky on the back. And see, it stick directly to it. So that's all good. I don't have to worry about trying to glue that down. And I really love those adhesive sheets for the little intricate dies, instead of trying to glue them down, which can get a little frustrating. As you'll see, because now this one, the one on this side, I didn't want it to have the adhesive on the back, so I am going to glue it down to the back of this. And so you just want to put a little bit, just like little dots on the back of that, or on the front of that actually, because then he's going to go on the back there like that. So see how that's going to go like that. So I want to pop this up, so I just want to put my dimensionals on this side. So I'm just going to put 3 dimensionals down this side here. Okay. So there we go. And there we go. So there we have our gatefold card. So there we have all 3 cards that really don't take a lot of time. They can be as intricate or as fast as you want them to be. but I hope you had fun following along with me tonight. Again, we used the Year of Flowers, and it is the Stamps and Die bundle. It comes with a flower for each month, and it comes with Hoping Your Day Blooms with Happiness, I Couldn't Have Picked a Better Friend, Sending You a Floral Hug, and Happy Birthday. It is a really cute stamp set, and I think that there's a lot of things that you could do with it. You know, could highlight any month you wanted to there. Thank you for being with me tonight, and I really do appreciate you guys, and I will be back again next Wednesday with a new card class, so be sure and follow me to see what next week's card class is. Thank you.